Hey, welcome to Worship Leader Hangout. My name is Chad Buckland. Today, you saw the title. I'm going to be talking about how to remove the music stands from your stage and why and what my story is behind that. It actually kind of all started in November last year. I was watching a worship rocket module. I don't know if you guys know about that resource. It's actually really good, but our church does subscribe to them. And we get a module every month. It automatically comes because it's all online and all that stuff. And it talks about things that you can do to improve your worship team and all kinds of stuff. It's a good resource. I would look into it. But so I was watching that, and he was talking about ways that you can improve your worship experience and different things that you can make better with your worship team, and kind of like what we do here at Worship Leader Hangout. But I was watching that, and he mentioned two things that I think go together, and I'll tell you how. We'll talk about that in just a second. He mentioned one that I thought was huge with our worship team, and that was removing the music stand, this thing. See, it's kind of in my way. How do you remove the music stand from your stage? You may have a team of volunteers that play every other week or every 2 weeks. However you do that, some play every week. I realize that sometimes it's hard to have a team of volunteers and then also have them learn the music and be ready during rehearsal. One thing we do here at our church is we strive for excellence, and you probably do as well. This is probably huge with your team and with multiple teams on a part of your church. So we strive for excellence in everything we do, the music, the greeting, everything. And we want to continue to push the bar, to push the excellence level, so to speak. And I thought, okay, this might be something that we could do. We could try to remove the music stands from our stage. Now, just like he said on the video, if you go in next week and take all the stands off the stage and say we're no longer using music stands, good luck. You're probably not going to have a team anymore after that. Some are going to be very mad at you. Some are going to be happy. They'll be fine. You got those guys, great by ear. They know the music. They don't even use a music stand already. But there are some that kind of lean on that every Sunday. They may not listen to the music. They may not practice like they should. Their week may be busy. Volunteers, they're working full-time jobs and have families, and their weeks are busy. But if we want to play with excellence, if we want to raise that bar continually, we can remove our music stands over a period of time. And so what we did is I knew we do roughly 5 songs, mostly 5 songs, sometimes 4, every Sunday. And I said, well, if we do this gradually, we can we actually made a book, literally, like, we binded with those little plastic binder things, a book every single Sunday with the songs printed out, ready to go for them, the ones that we had on Planning Center. And that made it really easy to hand that out every Thursday. They had that, they put that on the stand, go through each song, done. Well, so what I did was I took 10 weeks and I took 1 song out every 2 weeks. Simple as that. That was my plan. I think I ended up going 11 weeks because I wanted to add a song 1 month. That was kind of new for us. So you have to look at your situation if you want to start doing this and see how you can do that. So maybe you don't print music already. I think the thing there would be maybe give it 5 weeks and say, look, only bring 4 this week, only bring 3 this week, and do it over a period of time as well. So the big thing is when you're selling this to your team, when you're presenting this for the first time in a meeting or at a rehearsal, you want to make sure you tell them why before you say, hey, this is what we're doing. We're getting rid of music. You want to tell them why you're doing it. A lot of people like to know why first. There's a book called Start With Why. Haven't read it yet, but I know about it. I probably will read it. But I do know this is important, and so some great reasons, some benefits, you can start with benefits of removing the stand from the stage would be a cleaner stage. Simple as that. It shows that you care. It shows that that you know the music, and and you're ready for worship. I mean, it's just a cleaner stage. I mean, it just looks good, right? The next one would be worship engagement. So your team is now able to focus on worship, worshiping Jesus during that time, rather than head buried into the stand. Another thing would be musician and congregation engagement, looking out to the congregation, making eye contact, not staring at people, but you know what I'm saying, just kind of looking around, being involved, looking at musicians working together on stage to make the music cohere, that cohesion on stage. We used to call it gelling, and then also the ability to learn by ear. So when you make this a thing with your worship team, when you set this in place, we're going to take away the music stands over this period of time. Your musicians are going to have to start learning the music by ear, or not necessarily by ear, but learning the music, and then that awakens that ability over time. So that way, when they start listening to the songs, they start picking out parts, because they're already starting that process by not having to have the music stand on stage. It's kind of a step toward that for some of those musicians that just don't know how to learn by ear. Now, I do have a musician. He's not an improviser, but he's excellent with learning by ear. And when he gets on that stage, man, he rips, and it looks like he's improvising. I mean, it's pretty amazing what it'll do. So I told you we did this over a 10-week period. Now, there's another thing that you could do to help make this a little bit easier when you're starting to remove the music stands or remove the music. You could tell your team that you want to move toward accurate part learning. This is simply learning the part, learning the exact part from the arrangement that you want to do, whatever song that may be. So, for example, lead guitar parts, learn all lead parts from the album, just as they hear it. This is not to hinder any improvisation or uniqueness or originality of your team. This is simply to give them a standard, if you will. So what they do is they see, okay, this is what our worship leader wants as far as like where we need to start. And if your worship leader, or if the worship leader, want to change anything from there, at least you already have a set standard of where you're going to start. So it's good to already know the song as is on the album, and then you can move from there. But I know we had a couple of people that didn't like this because they felt like it hindered the spirit, or we were just being robots. I'll talk about that in just a second. But accurate part learning is very simple. It's easy to say, get across to your team. We had a couple of people, due to work, whatever it may be, that would come to rehearsal and had not even listened to the song, and they were relying on the music sitting on the music stand that I provided. And so I have to change that. We all have to work toward that excellence factor. Now, let me talk about the accurate part learning in a different light. You will have some backlash with this, and this was one thing that somebody came against me with the whole removing music stands and accurate part learning and this and that. They did think that I wanted to just have the team be robots and this and that. I simply explained it to them, just like I explained it to you. It's just to set a standard, and that's not saying that we are always going to play that song exactly like that. But if you think about it, the producers, the artists that wrote that song and that played that song, they're excellent musicians. I mean, that's why they have albums. That's why they are on worship tours and this and that. I mean, they have practiced. They have mastered that song so well that, I mean, it's no issue for us to learn it just like that and play it like that. But also at the same time, we can change it. I just want there to be a standard, and that's one thing that some people don't understand. And the reason why I'm saying all this is because you will have backlash with any kind of change. My pastor just said this week that if you want to experience change, he said, if you want to experience growth in any area of your life, you have to experience change. This is a change of our team, and man, it's been so amazing. But I want to talk about some kind of rough patches we had. We did have one that he came at me with an email, and he totally didn't like the idea of the the accurate part learning. He thought that we, like I said, we would turn into robots, or we were just playing the album and the spirit wasn't there. And you know, that's simply not it. Like I said, it was to set that standard. And I might be being repetitive with this, but I want to make that clear. Standard. That's all it is. It's just a level at which we start, and then we can go up from there. And you know, and I wrote him back, just kind of help him understand all this. And he did quit the team because of that, and I understood. I respected that. That's fine. You know, he's the type of guy, he loves to play. You know, to improvise a lot, play with, you know, through the Spirit, and man, that's awesome, and we want that for our team. But we also want accurate part learning at times, and so, you know, having both of those together is very important to our team. And then I had another guy that actually did not come to me, and I don't even know if he knows that I know about this, but he was talking, kind of among some other team members, just saying that he's not sure about it, this and that. And what's funny is he wasn't sure about it, talked about it to other people, about how he may not be able to, you know, stay on the team, this and that, because of this, not having a music stand. But he was one of the first ones that totally took away the music stand, like week 7, because he could tell, you know, he could see a difference between the team and him, and you know, when he played the songs without the music in front of him, he was able to really worship, to really get into it. I'm telling you guys, this is huge. I'm not, you know, this video is not to you know, throw out an idea, hey, you should remove your music stand. What a great idea. No, I'm telling you, this was another idea I heard from another video, another guy, another whole worship thing, and I'm doing it. I tried it, and I'll tell you what, when you're a musician, and this is what you look like. This is kind of, you know, it could kind of put people off. You know, this is all they see. They don't see expression. They don't see you singing. They don't see the worship coming from you. And I mean, does it matter if they see it? Well, it kind of does, because the reason why we're up there is not to perform, not to look pretty, not for us is what I'm saying. It's not about us. It's about Christ. But the people in our congregation, now this is getting a little deeper, I don't want to get, but the people in our congregation are coming from, you've heard this cliche, they're coming from all walks of life. Some of them are just mad when they walk in, whether it's at their spouse or kids, their job, whatever, and they just don't feel like worshiping. Well, if they see us worship, and they don't see this, they see us worship, they see us, whether we like to raise our hands or move around or sing, you know, sometimes, you know, musicians, bass players, drummers, if they see us singing, or if they see us just enjoying what we're doing, that can pull them in and start responding to God in the worship. And that's just, it's so huge to get rid of this in our worship space. You know, I've seen a music stand front center of an album cover just recently from a huge worship team. And I just, you know, it's just doesn't matter, no, not in the grand scheme, you know, in the long run. I mean, and they had it pretty low, but it just, I just thought, man, how cool would that album look if the music stand was gone, if it wasn't there? And I was kind of sad that I saw that there, but whatever. But man, it's been awesome not having to worry about the music stands. We haven't had to print music and kill 30 trees every single Sunday morning. It's just it's a different experience, and I want to encourage you guys to try this. Try to remove the music stands. It will take some time. Some of you will take longer than 10 weeks. Some of you will be able to, you know, your different team members. You gotta fill them out. You can talk to a couple of them about this. I decided to go the route where I wanted to do this for the sake of our team, and I sent it out. I actually sent it out a full month ahead of time, and let them know, hey, starting January whatever, I can't remember, whatever the first January was this year, we're going to be removing one song, and then so on and so forth. You get the idea. Try this out. It's going to change your team. It's going to change your team dynamic. It's going to pull you guys closer together. It's going to pull you guys closer together with the congregation. You're going to be able to start learning by ear if you don't already know how to do that. It's just going to be a better experience. If you have any questions about how to do this, or maybe you think I can go in more detail about some of the things that I said, comment below or direct message me. You can find us on Twitter at WL Hangout. Find us, send us a message. I'd be glad to help you. I have, you know what, I'll just include in the email that I made. I'll include that in the video description below. Subscribe to be notified when we post more videos. Remember that great worship leaders are always learning. Thank you guys so much for watching.